Hey guys, it's Prince, and I've got some M1216 gameplay. I go 63-3, and I don't know which gonna use more, the MSMC or the M1216, because this gameplay is pretty old. I've had it since January and never posted it. The MSMC is a fucking rapist, and I don't know how much I've used it, so. I don't know. It's kind of overpowered. I just try to stay away from it because I don't want to get because like once I start using SMGs and stuff, I start relying on them too much to get me all my kills and stuff instead of actually thinking about how I'm going to be engaging in gunfights. When you use a gun like the M1216, you're always trying to get up close in their face. 10 meters out, you're probably not going to get the kill against someone with assault rifle or an SMG. And the sniper rifles in this game are a piss off because they always get you in close range, and whenever you're like one off K9 and they kill you, it's a piss off. You start raging and it's just not fun. I understand that Treyarch's trying to make the game balanced, but if they really want to incorporate the sniper rifles the way they are doing right now, you probably want to get bigger maps because all the engagements are close quarters, and most snipers that I see running around are just no scoping, and it's really not fun when you get killed and you're a couple kills away from a high kill streak. It's no biggie if you just get killed off like nothing, but once you're on a kill streak, it's kind of unfair because that's not the way sniper rifles should be used, and it'd be kind of cool if they balance it out. Like, if you're 10 meters within range, a sniper shot, you won't die. It's obviously unrealistic, but it's more fair, I guess. Or maybe just making no scopes hit markers unless you're aimed down into your scope. That's the only way you're gonna get a one-shot kill in close range. So I think that'd be much more fair than snipers just going around with SVUs and spamming their bullets, and it's just not fair. So probably not gonna happen. Just sending out suggestions. Treyarch doesn't really listen as much as like DICE or Ubisoft. I don't understand. These guys have a bigger fan base, and I don't know. All of us see the problems there in Call of Duty, but they really make minimal attempts to fix them. They fix some of the smaller problems, but the big problems never get addressed, such as small ass maps, and I don't know what goes on at Treyarch or Sledgehammer or Infinity Ward, but they never seem to listen to the majority of the crowd. They seem to patch like some small mistakes. Like, I remember in the days of COD 4, Infinity Ward sent out some random patch for extreme conditioning for the P90 because you ran a bit faster, I think, with extreme conditioning and P90, and no one really knew that, and it wasn't really unbalanced because it wasn't like double the speed or anything, maybe just a little bit faster. But Infinity Ward just decided to patch that, but they didn't want to patch their grenade spam and the grenade blast radius, or Juggernaut. So either way, they pass meaningless problems, and they really don't pay attention to the bigger problems, which has always been a problem with Call of Duty. I don't think they'll ever really address that. I don't know why, but as much as we complain to Vonderhaar, and Vonderhaar gets a lot of shit to him, I understand from his perspective. He probably doesn't like a lot of us because we just spam him with hate comments, and I understand that's not nice, but you don't really listen the first time around. The only way to get your attention is to swear at you and I don't know, call you Baldylocks or whatever. It's the only way you get his attention. Someone like Ubisoft or DICE, they patch things, because even DICE is becoming sort of like Treyarch and Infinity Ward in that they don't patch as much stuff. They do, but a lot of the new problems that show up aren't tested properly. That's a big problem with these big games, that they have to meet deadlines pretty fast, and they don't really get to test out everything properly, which obviously you don't end up with a great product. But it's these big companies that have to please a lot of their publishers and stuff with whatever. I'm sure if DICE and Treyarch were given a bit more time and didn't have to meet like November deadline or October deadline, you know, the game would turn out much better. And I don't know if it's just Treyarch, but like the development cycles, I don't even think are that long. Like nowadays, people like Treyarch and DICE spend like a year on one game, and that's really not a lot because for DICE, what they would have to do to make Battlefield 4 at the same time as their map packs are being released, they'd have to, like, as soon as they finish Battlefield 3, they'd have to start working on Battlefield 4, which, you know, I don't think that actually happens, but, you know, just hypothetically we can say that. So they're making map packs as well as making BF4, and you know, you can't do two things at once and expect one of them to be, you know, overly innovative, because I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that BF4 won't be too revolutionary. You know, I could be wrong, but usually these developers are pretty predictable in their games. You know, some really big surprises come from maybe first party titles, such as the transition from Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 2, or Resistance Fall of Man to Resistance 2, or maybe Gears of War, I'm not sure. But, you know, these big companies are the ones who should be trying out new things, not just sticking to their old formula. But, you know, that's the way the big companies think, that if they change anything, people aren't going to like it. But you know what? If just 1 year Call of Duty just tried something completely different and didn't just build off everything they had before, and it turned out good, imagine how happy everyone would be, and imagine what, like, new stuff Call of Duty would bring. And you know, everyone wins in that situation. Even if it turns out bad, you know, people will still give positive responses and congratulate Treyarch for at least taking some risks, right? They can always go back to their old formula next year. Why don't you just try it out once, right? So I don't know. I know it's never gonna happen. Actually, you know, next gen Call of Duty, we'll have to see what it goes with. If it's MW4, that's just, I mean, like, just gotta let the series go sometime. MW3 was the end. You know, the only reason, like, Treyarch and Infinity Ward, I know, like, their moneymaker is multiplayer, but you always gotta focus on campaign, because that is what's supposed to be the central point of a game. Even if people like another component such as multiplayer, single player is what everything should be based on, right? Because from single player, that's where you build off of multiplayer. Multiplayer is meant to enhance your game experience once you're done the single player. The main component of a game should be the single player. Look at games like Uncharted, Gears, Resistance. You know, any of these games, their main component is single player, and that's what it should be, because that's what gaming has always been built on. Right, you know, now there's user experiences and stuff, but you can also incorporate that into the single player the way Borderlands does it with 4-player co-op, right? There's always ways to go around stuff. You can't always just go to multiplayer first, because that's what Treyarch does wrong, and that's what Infinity Ward does wrong. They completely just throw out their single player experiences. Now Treyarch has done a pretty good job with Black Ops 2, because the single player experience is not really bad. They focused on it a lot, but, you know, maybe you'll get 3 hours out of it. That's garbage for, you know, the amount you hype up this game and stuff, and the amount of money that goes into this game. You'd think it'd be at least like 10 hours, but it's not. It's not. It's maybe 4 hours. 4 hours at most. You know, it takes me around 3 hours. I'm not even lying. If you guys want, I could do a walkthrough on Black Ops 2, and it's just, you can look at the playlist once all the walkthroughs done, see how long it'll be, and it's really not that long. Same with MW2. Like, MW2 actually had an amazing campaign. It wasn't really story focused, but I still liked it a lot. But again, it was very short, maybe 4 hours, 5 hours at most. You know, not really that long. And you know, you really gotta focus on single player more. And you know, even if a lot of gamers this generation feel cool and, you know, call you a nerd if you play single players, you know, they don't know real gaming, because real gaming has always been on a single player. It's always been the player against the computers, right? So, you know, that should always be the central focus of the game. And again, you can go through Borderlands route and incorporate co-op, or, you know, whatever. Just devs, you gotta go in there and focus on single player. Look at Assassin's Creed, amazing single player. If you play single player, you transfer onto multiplayer. Everything you learn in single player will help you a lot in multiplayer. Same with Uncharted 2. In Uncharted 2, if you learn to use stealth, learn to, you know, lethal takedowns from a ledge, or from behind cover, it'll help you a lot, right? So single player games, they really need to step up on big titles such as Battlefield and stuff. So yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys later, and yeah, later.